Pocket.com. TunePocket.com. TunePocket.com. Unlimited royalty-free music for videos and media projects. TunePocket.com. Unlimited royalty-free music for videos and media projects. TunePocket.com.
ये रूम कितना ठंडा ठंडा है, कूल कूल। चलो चलो चलो। बोलो इधर आओ, जल्दी इधर आ जाओ, यहाँ बैठ जाओ। क्या हुआ? जल्दी आओ, दीदी पास आओ। आ जाओ, सब रेस्ट कर लो, खेल आए हम। चलो अब दीदी काम करेगी, तुम यहाँ रेस्ट करना, ठीक है?
पढ़ाई कर रही है ना, मत कर डिस्टर्ब। देख टाइसन और रूबी आराम से सो रहे हैं, डिस्टर्ब मत करो, ठीक है? बस सो जाओ तुम आराम से, गुड बॉय बन जाओ, ठीक है? This period, the period from 1000 to 1200 saw refugees both in West and Central Asia and in North India. It were these developments which led to the incursion of the Turks into the northern India, leading to their rule towards the end of the period. By the end of the 19th century, by the end of the 9th century, the Abyssinian Caliphate was in decline. Its place was taken by a series of states ruled by Islamized Turks. The Turks had entered the Abbasid Empire during the 9th century as place guards and mercenary soldiers. Soon they emerged as the kingmakers. As the power of the central government declined, provincial governors started assuming independent status, though for some time the fiction of unity was kept by the caliph, formally granting the title of Amir ul Umra, commander of commanders, on general who were able to carve out a separate sphere of authority. These new rulers assumed the title of Amir at first and of Sultan later on. The continuous incursion of the Turkish tribesmen from Central Asia, the mercenary character of the Turkish soldiers who were prepared to switch loyalties and abandon an unsuccessful ruler without much thought. The strife between different Muslim sects and between different regions made a period of restless one. Empires and states rose and fell in rapid succession. In this situation, only a bold warrior and leader of men, a person who was as adept in warfare as in withstanding intrigues, could come to the surface. The Turkish tribesmen brought with them the habit of ruthless plunder. Their main mode of warfare consisted of rapid advance and retreat, lightning raids, and attacking any loose body obstacles. They could do this because of the excellent quality of their horses, as also their hardihood, so that They could cover incredible distances on horseback. Meanwhile, the breakup of the Gujar Pratihara Empire led to a phase of political uncertainty in northern India and a new phase of struggle for domination. As a result, title attention was paid to the emergence of aggressive expansionist Turkish states on the northwestern border of India and in West Asia. Kabul, Kandahar, and its neighboring area to the south called Jabul or Jamindwar were considered parts of Al-Hind or India till the end of the 9th century. There were many Buddhist and Hindu shrines in the area, the most important being the 53.5-meter colossal statue of Buddha at Bamiyan with caves for residents of 1,000 monks. The area up to river Oxus was ruled by many dynasties, some of them claiming descent from Kanishka. These kingdoms, backed by a mixed population of local tribes, Huns, Turks, exiled Iranians, and Indians such as Bhati Rajputs, offered stiff resistance to the Arab effort to enter the area for tribute, plunder, and slaves. Consequently, there was continuous skirmishing on both sides of the border. The Ghaznavids. Towards the end of the 9th century, Iran's Oxian, Khorasan, and parts of Iran were being ruled by the Samanids, who were Iranians by descent. The Samanids who had to battle continually with the non-Muslim Turkish tribesmen on their northern and eastern frontier. It was during this struggle that a new type of soldiers, the Ghazi, was born. The battle against the Turks, most of whom worshipped the forces of nature and were helpless in the eyes of the Muslims, was a struggle for religion as well as for the safety of the state. Hence, the Ghazi was as much a missionary as a fighter. He acted as a auxiliary of the regular armies and made up for his pay by plunder. It was the resourcefulness of the Ghazis and his willingness to undergo great privatation for the sake of the cause which enabled these infant Muslim states to hold their own against the Haldan Turks. In course of time, many Turks became Muslims, but the struggle against the renewed incursion of the non-Muslim Turkish tribes continued. The Islamized Turkish tribes were to emerge as the greatest defenders and crusaders of Islam, but the love of plunder went side by side with the defense of Islam. Among the Samanids governors was a Turkish sheikh, Alptigin, who in course of time established an independent kingdom with its capital at Ghazni. The Samanid kingdom soon ended. The Ghaznavids took over the task of defending the Islamic lands from the Central Asian tribesmen. It was in the context that Muhammad ascended the throne at Ghazni. Mahmud is considered a hero of Islam by medieval Muslim historians because of his stout defense against the Central Asian Turkish tribal invaders. The Ghazi spirit therefore further increased during his reign. Secondly, Mahmud was closely associated with the renaissance of the Iranian spirit, which grew rapidly during this period. The proud Iranians had never accepted the Arabic language and culture. The Samanid state had also encouraged the Persian language and literature. A high watermark in the Iranian Renaissance was reached with Firdausi's Shahnama. Firdosi was the poet laureate at the court of Mahmud. He transported the struggle between Iran and Turan to mythical times and glorified the ancient Iranian heroes. There was a resurgence of Iranian patriotism, and the Persian language and culture became the language and culture of Ghaznavid Empire, so much so that Mahmud himself claimed descent from the legendary Iranian king of Russia. Thus, the Turks became not only Islamized but Persianized. It was this culture that they were to bring with them to India 2 centuries later. While Mahmud played an important role in the defense of Islamic State against the Turkish tribes and in the Iranian cultural renaissance in India, his memory is only that of a plunderer and a destroyer of temples. Mahmud is said to have made 17 raids into India. The initial raids were directed against the Hindu Shahi rulers who at that time held Peshawar and the Punjab. Their capital was at Udbanda or Wahind, Peshawar. The Hindu Shahi rulers had been quick to see the danger to them of the rise of an aggressive expansionist state on their south-western border. The Hindu Shahi ruler Jaipal had, in alliance with the displaced dominant governor of Ghazni, the Bhatti ruler of the area around Multan, and the Amir of Multan, invaded Ghazni. But he had to suffer a defeat, and the coalition built by him collapsed. In relation, the Ghaznavid ruler of the times laid waste the area up to Kabul and Jalalabad in about 990 to 91. Under Sabuktagin, the Shahis suffered a serious defeat. Following this, the provinces of Kabul and Jalalabad were annexed to Ghazni as a Prince Mahmud had taken part in these battles. After his accession to the throne, he resumed the offensive against the Shahis. The Shahi ruler Jaipal had in the meantime strengthened his position by bringing Lahore under his control. Thus, the Shahi rule extended from Peshawar to Punjab. In a furious battle near Peshawar in 1001, Jaipal was again defeated. Mahmud advanced to the Shahi capital and thoroughly ravaged it. Peace was made by ceding the territory west of the Indus to Mahmud soon after Jaipal died and was succeeded by his son Anand Pal. According to some later accounts, Jaipal had entered a funeral pyre following his defeat because he felt he had disgraced himself. The story that he had been taken prisoner by Mahmud and then released seems doubtful. Despite these setbacks, the Shahis were still strong enough to offer serious resistance to Mahmud's efforts to penetrate into the Punjab. Mahmud also had to counter the attacks of non-Muslim Turks from Central Asia. However, in a decisive battle near the Indus in 1009, Anapal was defeated and Mahmud devastated his new capital. history. The 17th century historian Farishta mentions that many Rajput rulers, including those from Delhi, Ajmer, and Kannauj, aided Jaipal in 1001. However, Ajmer had not been founded by then, and Dilika was a small state. Likewise, the Gujjar Pratiharas of Kannauj whose sway had extended upon Thanesar at one time, were in much weakened condition. Thus, the Shahis fought virtually alone. By 1015, Mahmud was poised for an attack on the Indo-Gangetic Valley. During the next a dozen years, Mahmud launched a series of expeditions into the Indo-Gangetic plains. These raids were aimed at plundering the rich temples and the towns which had amassed wealth over generations. The plundering of this wealth also enabled him to continue his struggle against his enemies in Central Asia. He also didn't want to give time to the prince in India to regroup and to combine against him. Mahmud's raids into India altered with battles in Central Asia. For his plundering raids into India, the Ghazis came handy to him. Mahmud also posed as a great but Shikhan or destroyer of the images for the glory of Islam. From the Punjab, Mahmud raided Thanesar, the old capital of Harsha. His most daring raids, however, were against Kannauj in 1018 and against Somnath in Gujarat in 1025. In the campaign against Kannauj, he sacked and plundered both Mathura and Kannauj. The following year, he invaded Kalinazar in Bundelkhand and returned loaded with the fabulous riches. He was able to do all this with impunity due to the fact that no strong state existed in North India at that time. No attempt was made by Mahmud to annex any of these states. Between 1020 and 1025, Mahmud was engaged in Central Asian affairs. In 1025, he made a plan for raiding Somnath, which had a fabulously rich temple and attracted lakhs of pilgrims. It was also a rich board. The objective was also to create a sense of awe and shock among the Rajputs, which he marched via Multan and Jaisalmer and with a regular cavalry of 30,000, meeting light opposition on the way he reached Somnath. The commander of the city fled at his approach, but the citizens put up a stout resistance. Mahmud broke the back with him to Ghazni, evading the attempt of some Rajput rulers to block him on his way. He had to counter the he returned to Ghazni loaded with immense wealth. It is difficult to say whether Mahmud's attack on Somnath presaged an attack on Rajasthan and Gujarat. Mahmud returned the following year to punish the Jats who had harried him on his return to Ghazni. He died at Ghazni in 1030. It is not correct to dismiss Mahmud as just a raider and plunderer. The Ghaznavid conquest of the Punjab and Multan completely changed the political situation in North India. The Turks had crossed the chain of mountains defending India in the northwest and could make a deeper incursion into the Gangetic heartland at any time. The reason why they were not able to extend their conquest into the area for the next 150 years was due to the rapid changes which took place in the Central Asia as well as in North India during the period following the death of the Mahmud. A powerful empire, Seljuk Empire, came into being. The Seljuk Empire included Syria, Iran, and Transoxania and contended with the Ghaznavids for the control of Khurasan. In a famous battle, Masud, the son of Mahmud, was completely defeated and had to flee to Lahore for refuge. The Ghaznavid Empire was now shrank to Ghazni and the Punjab. Although the Ghaznavids continued to make plundering raids into the Gangetic Valley and Rajputana, they were no longer in position to pose a serious military danger to India. Simultaneously, a number of new states arose in North India which could counter the Ghaznavid raids. The Rajput states, the rise of a new section called the Rajputs, and the controversy about their origin have already been mentioned. With the breakup of Partihara Empire, a number of Rajput states came into existence in North India. The most important of these were the Gadwals of Kannauj, the Parmars of the Malwa, and the Chauhans of Ajmer. There were other smaller dynasties in different parts of the country, such as the Kalajuris in the area around modern Jabalpur, the Chandelas in Bundelkhand, and the Chalukyas of Gujarat, and the Tomars of Delhi, extra Bengal, all remained under the control of Palas and later under the Senas. The Gadwals of Kannauj gradually squeezed the Palas out of Bihar. At its height, the Gadwar kingdom extended from Munger in Bihar to Delhi. The greatest ruler in the dynasty was Govind Chandra, who ruled in the first half of the 12th century. He made Kannauj his capital, with Banaras remaining a second capital. Persian sources of the time called Govind Chandra the greatest ruler of the Hindustan. The Gadwars were reputed to be the biggest defender against the continued Ghaznavids raids into the Doab region. Govind Chandra was succeeded by Jai Chandra, who had to contend with the rising power of the Chauhans. The Chauhans, who had served under the rulers of Gujarat, established their capital at Nadol towards the end of the 10th century. The greatest ruler in the dynasty was perhaps Vigraraj, who captured Chittor and established Ajmeru, and made it his capital. He built a Sanskrit college at Ajmer and the Ana Sagar lake there. Like the Gadwars, the Chauhans too offered stout resistance to the Ghaznavids' raids. Vigraraj captured Delhi from the Tomars in 1151 but allowed them to rule it as feudatories. Vigraraj also came into conflict with the Parmars of the Malwas, where the most famous ruler known in legend was Boja. Both Vigraraj and Boja were patrons of poets and scholars. Vigraraj himself wrote a Sanskrit drama. Boja had to Bhoj had to fight his neighbors to the north as well as to the south. It is credited with writing books on philosophy, poetics, yoga, and medicine. The most famous among the Chauhan rulers was Prithviraj III, who ascended the throne at the young age of 11 in or about 1177, but took the reins of administration in his hands when he was 16. He immediately embarked on a vigorous policy of expansion and brought many This forced him to move toward the Ganga Valley. He led an expedition in Bundelkhand against its capital Mahoba. It was in this struggle that the famous warriors Alha and Udal lost their lives. The Chandel rulers of Mahoba is said to have been supported in their struggle by Jayachandra of Kannauj. The Gadwars had also contested the attempt of the Chauhan to control Delhi and Punjab. It was these rivalries which made it impossible for the Rajput rulers to join hands to oust the Ghaznavids from the Punjab. The basis of Rajput society was the clan. Every clan traced its descent from a common ancestor, real or imaginary. The clans generally dominated a compact territory. Sometimes these settlements were based on units of 12 or 24, 48, or 84 villages. The chief would allot land in the villages to his sub-chiefs, who in turn would allot it to individual Rajput warriors for the maintenance of their family and the horses. Attachment to land, family, and honor was the characteristics of the Rajputs. Each Rajput state was supposed to be ruled over by the Rana or Rawat in conjunction with his chief, who were generally his blood brothers. Though their was supposed to be held at the pleasure of the ruler. The Rajput notion of the sanctity of the land did not permit their resumption by the ruler except in special circumstances such as rebellion, absence of an higher extra. The Rajput organization of society had both advantages and disadvantages. One advantage was the sense of brotherhood and among the Rajputs, but at the same rate, it made it difficult to maintain discipline among them. Feuds which continued for several generations. Another weakness of the Rajputs, but their basic weakness was their tendency to form exclusive group, each claiming superiority over the others. They were not prepared to extend the sense of the brotherhood to non-Rajputs. This led to a growing gap between the Rajput ruling groups and the people, most of whom were non-Rajputs. The Rajputs were from only about 10% of the population in Rajasthan. Even today, the proportion of the Rajputs to the total population of the areas that they dominated could not have been much higher. During the 11th and 12th centuries, the Rajputs treated war as a sport. This and struggle for land and cattle led to continuous warfare among the various Rajput states. The ideal ruler was one who led out his army after celebrating the Shera festival to invade the territories of his neighbors. The people, both in villages and in the cities, suffered the most from this policy. Most of the Rajput rulers of the time were champions of Hinduism, though some of them also patronized Jainism. They gave rich donation and grants of land to the Brahmins and temples. The Rajput rulers stood forth as protectors of the privileges of the Brahmins and of the caste system. Thus, the system of charging a lower rate of land revenue for Brahmins continued in some Rajput states till their merger in Indian Union. In return for these and other concessions, the Brahmins were prepared to recognize the Rajputs as descendants of the old lunar and solar families of the Kshatriyas, which were believed to have become extinct. The period after the 8th century and particularly between the 10th and 12th century may be regarded as marking a climax in the temple building activity in North India. Some of the most magnificent temples that we have today can be traced back to this period. The style of the temple construction which came into prominence was called Nagara, though found almost all over India. The main centers of construction in this style were in North India and the Deccan. Its main characteristic feature was the tall curved spiral roof over the Garbhagriha or the deity room. The main room was generally a square, though a projection could be made from each of its sides. An Antaroom Mandap was added to the sanctum, and sometimes the temple was enclosed by high walls which had lofty gates. The most representative temples of this type are the groups of temples at Khajuraho in Madhya Pradesh and Bhubaneswar in Orissa. The Parshvanath temple, the Vishwanath temple, and the Kandarya Mahadev temple at Khajuraho illustrate the style in its richest and most finished form. The rich and elaborate carvings on the walls of the temple show that the art of sculptures had attained its height. Most of these temples were built by the Chandelas, who ruled the area from the beginning of the 9th to the end of the 13th century. In Orissa, the most magnificent example of temple architecture of the time are Lingaraj temple, 11th century, and the Sun temple of the Konark, 13th century. The famous Jagannath temple at Puri also belongs to this period. 13th century. A large number of temples were built at various other places in North India: Mathura, Banaras, Dilwara, Abu, etc. Like the temples in the South India, temples in the North India also tend to become more and more elaborate. They were the centers of social and cultural life. Some of them, such as the temple of Somnath, became extremely wealthy. They ruled over many villages and took part in business activities. In addition to temples, the Rajput rulers also built many fine palaces of powerful forts and works of public benefit such as stepped walls, bowlis, funds, extra. Rajput rulers also patronized arts and letters. Many books and plays were written in Sanskrit during the period under their patronage. Vastupala, the famous minister of Chalukyan ruler Bhima in Gujarat, was a writer and a patron of scholars and the builder of the beautiful Jain temple at Mount Abu. Ujjain and Dhara, the capitals of the Parmar rulers, were famous centers for Sanskrit learning. Many works were written in Abhabhramsha and Prakrit, which represented the language of the region. The Jain scholars made significant contribution in the direction, the most famous among them being Hema Chandra. who wrote both in Sanskrit and Abramsha. With the revival of Brahmanism, Sanskrit supplanted Abramsha and Prakrit among the upper classes. However, literature in these languages, which were nearer to the spoken languages, continue to be produced. The modern North Indian languages such as Hindi, Bengali, and Marathi begin to emerge out of these popular languages during this period. The Turkish conquest of North India after the Ghaznavids' conquest of the Punjab, two distinct patterns of relations between the Muslims and the Hindus were at work. One was the lure for plunder, which resulted in the raids into the Gangetic Valley and Rajputana by the successor of Mahmud. The rulers of the Rajput states put up a spirited resistance against these raids and won victories against the Turks on a number of occasions. But the Ghaznavid state was no longer a very powerful state, and gaining of a number of victories against it in local battles made the Rajput rulers at the second level. Muslim traders were allowed, even welcomed in the country, since they had been strengthening and augmenting India's trade with the Central and West Asian countries and thus increasing the income of the state. Colonies of Muslim traders sprang up. Muslim religious preachers called the Sufis to Punjab. The Sufis preached the gospel of love, faith, and dedication to the one God. They directed their preaching mainly towards the Muslim settlers, but they influenced some Hindus also. Thus, a process of interaction between Islam and Hindu religion and society was started. Lahore became a center of Arabic and Persian languages and literature. Hindu generals such as Tilak or Barbar Bhai Kast commanded the Ghaznavid armies in which Hindu Jat soldiers also were recruited. These two processes might have continued indefinitely, but for another large scale change in the political situation in Central Asia towards the middle of the 12th century, another group of Turkish tribesmen who were partially Buddhist and partially pagan shattered the power of the Seljuk Turks. In the vacuum, two new powers rose to prominence: Khwarizmi Empire based in Iran and Ghurid Empire based in Gur in northwest Afghanistan. The Ghurids had started as vassals of Ghazni but had soon thrown off their yoke. The power of Ghurids increased under Sultan Alauddin, who earned the title of the world burner. Jahan shows because during the middle of 12th century he razed Ghazni and burnt it during the to the ground in revenge for the treatment that had been meted out to his brothers at Ghazni. The rising of Khawarij Empire severely limited the Central Asian ambition of the Ghurids. Khorasan, which was the bone of the contention between the two, was soon conquered by Khwarizm Shah. This left no option for the Ghurids but took for expansion towards India. In 1173, Shahabuddin Muhammad, also known as the Muzaddin Muhammad bin Shafam, ascended the throne at Ghazni while his elder brother was ruling at Gur, proceeding by way of the Gomal Pass. Mujaddin Muhammad conquered Multan and Uch in 1178. He attempted to penetrate into the Gujarat by marching across the Rajputana desert, but the Gujarat ruler completely routed him in a battle near Mount Abu, and Muizzuddin Muhammad was lucky in escaping alive. He now realized the necessity of creating a suitable base in Punjab before venturing upon the conquest of India. Accordingly, he launched a campaign against the Ghaznavid possession in Punjab. By 1190, Muizzuddin Muhammad had conquered Peshawar, Lahore, and Sialkot, and was poised for a thrust towards Delhi and the Gangetic Doab. Meanwhile, events had not been standing still in North India. The Chauhan power had been steadily growing. The Chauhan rulers had defeated and killed a large number of Turks who had tried to invade Rajasthan. Most probably from Punjab side, they had also captured Delhi, called Dilika. From the Tomars around the middle of the century, the expansion of the Chauhan power towards the Punjab brought them into conflict with the Ghaznavids, ruler of the area. The Battle of Tehrin. Thus, the battle between those two ambitious rulers, Muizzuddin Muhammad and Prithviraj, was inevitable. The conflict started with the rival claims for Tabar Hinda in the battle which was fought at Tehran in 1191. The Ghurid forces were completely routed, Muizzuddin Muhammad's life being saved by a young Khalji horseman. Prithviraj now pushed on to Tabr Hinda and conquered it after 12 months. His little attempt was made by Prithviraj to oust the Ghurids from the Punjab. Perhaps he felt that this was another of recurrent Turkish raids, and that the Ghurid ruler would be content to the rule over the Punjab. This gave Muhammad time to regroup his forces and make another bid for India to the following year. He rejected the proposal said to be made by Prithviraj to leave Punjab under the possession of the Ghurid ruler. The Second Battle of Tehran in 1192 is regarded as one of the turning points in Indian history, when Muhammad had made careful preparation for the contest. It is said that he marched with 1,20,000 men, including a force of heavy cavalry, fully equipped with steel coats and armor, and 10,000 mounted archers. It is not correct to think that Prithviraj was negligent of the affairs of the state and woke to the situation when it was too late. It is true that at that time the Skand, the general of the last victorious campaign, was engaged elsewhere. As soon as Prithviraj realized the nature of the Ghurid threat, he appealed to all the Rajas of the northern India for help. We are told many Rajas sent contingents to help him, but Jayachandra, the ruler of Kannauj, stayed away. The legend that this was because Prithviraj had abducted Jayachandra's daughter Sanyogita, who was in love with him, is not accepted by many historians. The story was written much later as a romance by the poet Chandra Bardai, and includes many improbable events. As we have seen, there had been an old outstanding rivalry between the two states, hence it is not surprising that Jayachandra stayed away. Prithviraj is said to have fielded a force of 3 lakh, including a large body of cavalry and 300 elephants. The strength of the forces on both the sides may have been exaggerated. The numerical strength of the Indian forces was probably greater, but the Turkish army was better organized and led. The battle was mainly a battle between cavalry. The superior organization, skill, and speed of movements and of the Turkish cavalry and their mounted archers and heavy cavalry ultimately decided the issue. A large number of Indian soldiers lost their lives. Prithviraj escaped but was captured near Saraswati Sirsa. The Turkish armies captured the fort of Hasi Saraswati Saman. Then they attacked and captured Ajmer. Prithviraj was allowed to rule over Ajmer for some time, for we have coins of this period of giving the date and the legend. Prithviraj Deva on one side and the words Sri Muhammad Simon on the other. Soon after, Prithviraj was executed on a charge of conspiracy, and Prithviraj's son succeeded him. Delhi also was restored to its Tomar rule, but this policy was reversed soon after. The ruler of Delhi was ousted, and Delhi was made a base for the further Turkish advance into the Ganga Valley. Following a rebellion, a Muslim army recaptured Ajmer and installed a Turkish general there. Prithviraj moved to Ranthambore and founded a new powerful Chauhan kingdom there. The Delhi area and the eastern Rajasthan passed under the Turkish rule.